the drugs which act on anxiety patient. Huh? What do we mean by anxiety? Anyone? What do we mean by anxiety? If suddenly we meet with some stressful condition, like sudden lion coming to the vision, then what happens? We feel palpitation, our hands get trembled, we have sweating. So these symptoms are called anxiety. Anxiety is a very natural phenomena that is seen with every individual. But if this anxiety becomes frequent and distressful, then definitely it is a pathological problem. We say it anxiety disorder. Okay. So anxiety is an emotional state, unpleasant in nature, associated with uneasiness, discomfort, and concern or fear about some defined or undefined future threat. Some degree of anxiety is a part of normal life. We all have. And now, treatment is needed when it is disproportionate to the situation and excessive. Some psychotics and depressed patients also exhibit pathological anxiety. Now, anti-anxiety drugs, these are drugs, or anxiolytic drugs, these are drugs that are used in anxiety patient. These are an ill-defined group of drugs, mostly mild central nervous system depressants, which are aimed to control the symptoms of anxiety, produce a restful state of mind without interfering with normal mental or physical functions. Most of the anxiolytic drugs, when used in high dose, they cause CNS depression. So, what's the target? The anxiety should be controlled as well as the normal mental and physical function should be maintained. The anxiolytic sedative drugs differ markedly from antipsychotic and more closely resemble sedative hypnotics. Now, the most common drugs that are used as anxiolytic are benzodiazepines. So, this difference between the anxiolytic and the antipsychotic drugs. What does antipsychotic drugs weight acts on? It acts on the psychotic patients. So they have no therapeutic effect. The anxiolytic drugs have got no therapeutic effect to control thought disorder of schizophrenia. Do not produce extrapyramidal side effects unlike antipsychotic drugs. They have got anti-convulsant property. Many of the anxiolytic drugs, they possess anti-convulsant property like diazepam, like lorazepam. They have got anti-convulsant property. They produce physical dependence and carry abuse liability, unlike antipsychotic drugs. And they do not selectively block conditioned avoidance response in animals. So these are classification of anti-anxiety drugs. Benzodiazepines, these are most commonly used drug as an anxiolytic. They include diazepam, oxazepam, lorazepam, chlordiazepoxide, alprazolam, clonazepam. These are the mostly long-acting benzodiazepine group of drugs that are used as an anxiolytic. The second group of drug, azapirons, that include buspirone, japirone, and ipsapirone. Sedative antihistaminic can be used like hydroxyzine. And finally, beta adrenergic blocker like propranolol, non-selective beta blocker, they have got some role as an anxiolytic. In addition to the above drugs, some antidepressant drugs are also used as an anti-anxiety like SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Give me some examples of SSRI. Anyone? I think it was there in the exam. Fluoxetine. Anything else? Huh? Escitalopram. Very good. And SNRI? Serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. Any example? Any other? Venlafaxine, desvenlafaxine. Well, in addition to the above drugs, antidepressants, especially SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and SNRI, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, they are effective in OCD. It's one of the type of anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsion disorder. phobias, panic disorders, and many types of severe generalized anxiety disorders. SNRI, they are mostly used in chronic anxiety disorders where benzodiazepines are not preferred. Now coming to the benzodiazepines, some members have a slow and prolonged action. Yes, benzodiazepines. Examples: diazepam, lorazepam, clonazepam, alprazolam. Any other drugs? The other than benzodiazepines. Any other drugs? Huh? Other than benzodiazepines. Propranolol, beta selective, beta non-selective blockers, right? Anything else? Azapirones that include buspirone, ipsapirone, gepirone. And lastly, antihistaminic like first generation like hydroxyzine. So coming to benzodiazepine group of drugs, some members have got slow and prolonged action. They relieve anxiety at the lower dose without producing significant central nervous system depression. That is what we are requiring in an anxiety patient. They have a selective taming effect on aggressive animals and suppress induced aggression. In contrast to barbiturate, they have got more selective action on the limbic system and have proven clinically better in both quality and quantity of improvement in anxiety and stress related symptoms. Barbiturate has got no role in anxiety patient. At anti-anxiety dose, cardiovascular and respiratory depression is minor. Now, advantage of benzodiazepines in anxiety patients: they have little effect on other body systems. Number one, they have got lower dependence producing liability than barbiturate and other sedatives. Withdrawal syndrome is milder and delayed due to their long half-lives. The half-life of benzodiazepines that are used as an anti-anxiety drugs, they are longer, and that is why withdrawal symptoms are milder and delayed. They are relatively safer even in gross overdoses. Now, as like other benzodiazepines, they basically facilitate inhibitory GABAergic transmission, but other mechanisms of action have been suggested for it also. Higher doses induce sleep and impair performance like other benzodiazepines. Adverse effects: benzodiazepines we know: sedation, lightheadedness, psychomotor and cognitive impairment, confusional state especially in the elderly, increased appetite and weight gain, and alteration in sexual function. Rashes uncommon, some women fail to ovulate while on regular use of benzodiazepines. The major concern in long-term use for anxiety disorders are potential to impair mental functions and to produce dependence. That is why long-term benzodiazepines are not preferred in anxiety patient. Clodiazepoxide, it is the first clinically used benzodiazepine. Oral absorption slow, a smooth, long-lasting effect is produced. It is preferred in chronic anxiety state. It is a drug of choice. It is a drug of choice in alcohol withdrawal syndrome. Okay, so it is often combined with other drugs in psychosomatic disorders and has been the commonest benzodiazepine used to control alcohol withdrawal. Half-life 6 to 12 hours, but active metabolites are produced which extend the duration of action. Its anti-convulsant action is weak. Coming to the second benzodiazepine, diazepam. Diazepam, it is quickly absorbed, produces a brief initial phase of strong action and followed by prolonged milder effect. We all have read in general pharmacology that half-lives can be of different types like distribution half-life, elimination half-life, right? Now this diazepam, it exerts two-phase plasma concentration decay curve. It has got one distribution half-life and one elimination half-life different. Distributive phase is distributive phase half-life is 1 hour. So it has got brief initial phase of strong action for it. And elimination phase is 20 to 30 hours. that is responsible for prolonged milder effect. The biological effect half-life is still longer due to the production of active metabolites. It is preferred in acute panic attacks and anxiety associated with the organic disease. Coming to oxazepam, oxazepam is slowly absorbed, relatively polar, so poorly absorbed in the brain. Plasma half-life 10 hours, metabolized by glucuronide conjugation, no active metabolite is produced. Now duration of action is relatively shorter. So this drug oxazepam is more preferred in the elderly subjects and in patients with liver disease. It has been used mainly in short-lasting anxiety states. Coming to lorazepam, it is lesser lipid soluble than diazepam. So slow oral absorption, rate of entry in brain is slower. Half-life is shorter, 10 to 20 hours. They are more suitable for older patients. It is the only benzodiazepine recommended for intramuscular use. Why? Because the injection site reactions are minimal with lorazepam than with other benzodiazepines. It is quite sedative and capable for producing marked amnesia when basically when injected intravenous. It has been preferred for short-lasting anxiety state, obsessive compulsion disorders, and tension syndromes. It is the drug of choice in status epilepticus used intravenously. Alprazolam, a high potency anxiolytic benzodiazepine, which in addition they have got a mood elevating action. So a patient with anxiety and depression, the benzodiazepine of choice is alprazolam. As such, it is particularly useful in anxiety associated with depression. Good response has been obtained in panic disorders and severe anxiety and autonomic symptoms. Plasma half-life 12 hours, active metabolite is produced. It is also used as hypnotic. When administered daily as anxiolytic, what happens in between the two doses in long-term use, the patient may complain of anxiety symptoms, and that can be overcome by the use of sustained release tablets. Withdrawal symptoms may be more marked on discontinuation than with other benzodiazepines, so preferred only for short-term use. Buspirone. Now we have entered the benzodiazepine group of drugs. Buspirone is the first azapirone. It is distinctly different from benzodiazepines. How? Number one, they do not produce significant sedation or cognitive and functional impairment, unlike benzodiazepines. They does not interact with benzodiazepine receptor. They do not modify GABAergic transmission. They does not produce tolerance or physical dependence on long-term use. They does not suppress benzodiazepine or barbiturate withdrawal syndrome. And finally, they have got no muscle relaxant effect. They have got no anticonvulsant property. They are effective only in mild to moderate anxiety disorders. They are not effective in severe generalized anxiety disorders. They are not effective in panic attack and in the obsession compulsion disorder. Therapeutic effect develops slowly. Maximum benefit is seen after use of 2 weeks. Mechanism of action, possibly they act on the 5-HT1A receptor in the brain that are autoreceptors present on the presynaptic membrane. They inhibit the serotonin release, and thus basically they have got partial agonistic action on the 5-HT1A receptors. By stimulating presynaptic 5-HT1A autoreceptors, it reduces the activity of the dorsal raphe serotonergic neurons. যেহেতু প্রিসাইন্যাপটিক মেমব্রেনে 5-HT1 receptor থাকে, it decreases the release of serotonin from the presynaptic neurons, and as such the serotonergic activity in the dorsal raphe nucleus is decreased. That is responsible for possibly anti-anxiety effect. Other mechanism, antagonistic action at certain postsynaptic 5-HT1A receptor has also been seen. After chronic treatment, adaptive reduction in the cortical 5-HT2 receptor may occur, and finally it is claimed that they have got weak dopamine D2 blocking action. Although they have got dopamine D2 blocking action weak, they do not possess any antipsychotic property. They do not cause any extrapyramidal symptom like other antipsychotics. A mild mood elevating action has been noted occasionally, which may be due to facilitation of central noradrenergic system. Rapidly absorbed, undergoes extensive first pass metabolism, bioavailability less than 5%. One metabolite is active and excretion occurs both in urine and feces. Half-life 2 to 3.5 hours. Side effects are minor, dizziness, nausea, headache, lightheadedness. It may cause rise in blood pressure. Why? Because it is facilitating central noradrenergic system. It may cause rise in BP, particularly in patients on MAO inhibitors, but does not potentiate CNS depressant effect. Though most patients on buspirone remain alert, those operating machinery or motor vehicles should be cautioned. Now coming to the beta blockers, particularly non-selective beta blockers. Many symptoms of anxiety are related to sympathetic overactivity like palpitation, like trembling of the limbs and gastrointestinal hurrying, shaking and others. These are due to sympathetic overactivity and these symptoms reinforce the anxiety. Propranolol and other non-selective beta blockers, they help the anxious patient troubled by these symptoms by cutting the vicious cycle, and they provide symptomatic relief. So they are basically providing symptomatic relief by cutting down the symptoms of sympathetic overactivity. They do not affect the psychological symptoms like worry, fear, tension, but are valuable in the acute stressful situation. The role of beta blockers in anxiety disorders is quite limited. Now coming to the treatment of anxiety. Anxiety is a universal phenomenon, and to experience it in appropriate circumstance is a normal response. It may serve to enhance vigilance and drive. However, if anxiety symptoms are troublesome, frequent, persist in a severe form, they are a cause of distress, suffering, and markedly impaired performance. So, anxiety should be treated with drugs only when it is excessive, only when it is troubling in its own right. The established drugs are benzodiazepines. These are the drug of choice in anxiety patient which act quickly, while buspirone, SSRI, SNRI, they are effective only on chronic treatment. Benzodiazepines should be used in smallest possible dose. The dose should be gradually up titrated as per the requirement in a patient of anxiety patient. So the dose has been found out, the dose should be found out for each patient by titration with symptom of anxiety. Acute anxiety states generally respond better than chronic anxiety patient. The drug should be withdrawn as when it is no longer required. Now, however, when large doses have been used for longer periods, then the withdrawal of drugs should be gradual. Otherwise, withdrawal syndrome will precipitate. Long-term use of benzodiazepine is of questionable merit due to cognitive impairment, dependence, and tolerance. Usual practice is to give half to two-thirds of the dose at night time so that the patient can have restful sleep at night, and the remaining dose should be distributed during the daytime in 2 to 3 divided dose. This is a normal phenomena by which we give. The remaining, though the half-life of benzodiazepine used in anxiety patients are longer, the divided dose and use of sustained release tablet are required to avoid high peaks. Now, buspirone is an anti-anxiety drug alternative to benzodiazepine for chronic treatment, not for the acute anxiety disorder patient, and that should be used only for mild to moderate generalized anxiety disorder, but they are ineffective in obsession compulsion disorder, in the panic and phobic affects. The SSRI, SNRI are now extensively used in most forms of chronic anxiety disorder, but are not good for acute anxiety. They produce a delayed but often gratifying response and can be combined with the benzodiazepines. We often combine it. The SSRI are now the drug of choice for social anxiety, for the obsession compulsion disorder, for the eating disorders, and for the post-traumatic stress disorder, in which benzodiazepines, though effective, carry abuse potential on long-term use. Panic attacks are initially treated with a rapidly acting benzodiazepines like diazepam and alprazolam, but benzodiazepines are not suitable for long-term use. SSRI and duloxetine, these are the drug of choice for sustained treatment in panic disorder patient, which in the initial few weeks may be supplemented by continuing the benzodiazepine. Valproate can be an alternative. Phobic disorders are mostly treated by SSRI like fluoxetine, fluoxamine, paroxetine, sertraline. In situational phobias, propranolol may be added as and when needed. Gabapentin has been used as an alternative to SSRI in phobic disorder patients. Phobia माने कि fear of something like height and others. Patients with hypertension, peptic ulcer patient, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, gastroesophageal reflux, thyrotoxicosis, angina pectoris, they are often prescribed low doses of benzodiazepines in addition to specific therapy, though anxiety may not be a prominent manifestation. That's all.